That is literally so spooky.
In 2021, China opened the largest artificial island in the entire world at a cost of around 24 billion US dollars. China Evergrande Group built a massive man-made archipelago in the South China Sea. When I arrived to the island, I found huge shopping streets designed to look like Europe. Everything was clean, polished, and strangely perfect.
There's theme park music playing in the background.
There was just one problem. I seemed to be the only person here.
But there's just no one around. All locked up with these big bike locks.
On paper, Ocean Flower Island was designed to become one of China's most ambitious tourism projects, a place built to attract visitors from all over the world. But the longer I stayed here, the more obvious it became that something wasn't right.
Yeah, also someone's like watching us probably right here. I also didn't plan on doing any urbexing today, so I don't have any flashlight. My phone has to be enough.
Over the next couple of days, I set out to explore Ocean Flower Island to document a place that very few people outside China have ever seen in person.
Okay, I think we cannot continue exploring here because it's all locked off. Why is everything here locked off? These places look as if they've never opened. So some of the restaurants seem to be closed. It might be seasonal, but the further away you go from the point where we started, the more eerie and abandoned everything looks like. And I think a lot of these places here never ever opened up. We can go back to the street over there. This is so eerie. I mean, look at the doors. What's going on here? It's getting weird. The further I go, the stranger this place gets. We have another McDonald's here. That one's not open though. Yeah. That one's definitely closed right now. I see there is a map over here. Let's have a look at the map. We're here at the wedding manor. Okay, so is this where people are taking their wedding photos? Because from what I know, Chinese people love to take their wedding pictures in European style environments. And I think this is one of those places. It's eerie, it's very empty. Oh, we can have a look inside there. The door's open. Let's go in, let's see what that is. This looks like there's supposed to be an elevator in there going nowhere. It does not look very well maintained in here. There's a whole tree growing in here. Let's head back out. I don't think this place is completely abandoned. I do think it is used sometimes. Locked up. Okay, cannot go in there. Huh? Maybe we can have a look inside. Yeah, it's opened. I found an entrance, nice. Up there we're gonna have the groom and the bride. Here we have seating for all the guests. They definitely have to clean this place up a little bit before renting it out for a wedding again. Nice. Let's head back out because I think it is probably not supposed to be opened. Now let's have a look down to the water here. But look at the other side over here. You see all these constructions down here, though they've never been finished. These constructions have never been finished down here, and I have to say now it does start to look a little bit creepy. Let's see if we can have a look over there. Also on the other side, this one here, this is the second artificial island, because there's a total of 3 artificial islands here. That's the second one. Is mostly residential areas. You can get a few holiday apartments over there too. Maybe we can have a look over there later.
In 2010, Su Jiayin, once the richest man in China and founder of the Evergrande Real Estate Group, came up with an ambitious idea to build a massive artificial archipelago off the coast of Hainan Island in southern China. The project, known as Ocean Flower Island, was supposed to become the world's largest man-made island, around 1.5 times larger than Dubai's Palm Jumeirah. Plans included luxury hotels, shopping districts, exhibition centers, entertainment venues, and more than 600,000 apartments. But once I arrived on the island, it became obvious that things had not turned out the way Ocean Flower Island's developers had envisioned. So I did some research and quickly discovered that Evergrande, the company behind the project, had collapsed in 2021 after accumulating more than 300 billion US dollars in debt.
They planned on building a huge international mall here on this island, and they actually did build the mall. It's right down here. It's absolutely massive, though from what I've seen they never finished this building. The outside might look finished. I mean, there's like a hole up here, but the inside is a construction site. Let's have a closer look over here. It's just so eerie because there's like no one around. But look at this, it's like all like locked off. Didn't even finish the entrance down here. We can't see much here. The glass is pretty dirty, but it's absolutely massive. They probably spent millions of dollars just on this building alone. It never opened its gates. So I don't think the planning was very good for this whole project. They built these 3 islands. It opened in 2020, and now most of this island is abandoned, empty, or not even finished. But just look how big this mall is. And now it's just standing there, unfinished. I don't know if it's ever gonna be finished because the real estate developer Evergrande went bankrupt in 2023. So I'm not sure if anyone is ever gonna finish all of that. Maybe once more money is coming in, more tourists are visiting this island, maybe then someone will finish the construction sites down there. But the question is just, will there ever be enough tourists bringing money in, because there's just no one around right now. Let's have a look what's over here, because I saw there's a staircase leading down that way. Ah, that is an interesting sign. It says Civil Air Defense Access, staff only. We also have Russian and Korean here. So they have a civil air defense shelter down there. That is actually very interesting. Let's go have a look down here. Who are they thinking is gonna attack here? Okay. I didn't expect to go on any urbexing adventures, so I don't have a flashlight. So my phone is gonna have to do. I'm kind of scared of spiders. Oh, the smell. Oh, there's like, this is all flooded. But wow. So the floor is all flooded down here. It rained a lot last night, and here we have like a whole shelter. Also, someone's like watching us probably right here. So let's head back up. It's China, and there's always someone gonna watching, especially if there's a Laowai with a camera walking around in a civil defense shelter. Over here we have a little park area, though the water down here does actually not look very well maintained. Look at all the stuff growing in there. There's some trash. There's a coconut in there. And here we have a little sign. So it's a mist system. So apparently there used to be a mist system here, creating mist. Right now we only have algae and still water. This place is just so fascinating. They've spent so much money on building these artificial islands here, and I feel like nowadays everything is just so like not maintained. It's like overgrown. The water is pretty dirty. There's like no one here. Here we have an old elevator building. That one goes probably down to the garage, to the parking. There's like huge underground parking spaces here on the island. But let's see. Yeah, of course, that one's not working. That sign probably says out of order is my guess. Yet at the same time, they perfectly cut some of these bushes. Some of these bushes are perfectly well maintained, while at the same time the water pools right next are like overgrown with algae and like rotting. This place is just so strange.
During the early planning stages, the total cost of Ocean Flower Island was estimated at around 12 billion US dollars. However, it soon became clear that the borrowed money would not be enough. Evergrande later stated it would need a total of 23 billion US dollars to complete the project's planned 200,000 apartments. At the same time, Beijing introduced new restrictions on borrowing by property developers, with funding becoming harder to secure and Ocean Flower Island failing to generate enough revenue to finance further construction. Work on the project eventually came to a halt. To get a better picture of what was actually happening on the island, I decided to extend my stay for an entire week. So the next day I set out to find the abandoned mansions I had spotted the day before.
There's a tourist train coming. So you don't have to walk this whole island apparently. I think you can take one of these trains here. Let's see if there's even anyone in there. There's one person, and I think she's an employee. One person, a tourist train. Where can I buy tickets for the train? I'm tired of walking in the heat. Maybe we can find the train station. This up here, by the way, is the conference center from what I've seen on the map. So that's the conference center. I'm not sure what kind of conferences take place here. The door is open up there and the light is on. Maybe we can go in. There's like a lady over there stocking up the fridges. So you can probably rent this place out. Like, it reminds me of kind of like a flower, probably to fit the theming of the whole island. And now we're gonna have a look to this huge structure over there. But this is the main hotel, the Castle Hotel, and it's huge. It has 5,000 rooms. So let's see if we can go over there and check it out. On the signage we have Russian, so Mandarin, English, Russian and Korean. And Castle Hotel, we have to go straight. That's the Castle Hotel, straight. Not exactly sure if this is the right way, but it says Castle Hotel goes straight. This might be an underground passage. Oh no, it's entirely overgrown. I hope there are no tropical spiders in those leaves. Because I absolutely hate spiders and I'm so scared of them. Though I should probably rather be scared of snakes, I think. They're probably the bigger danger here. Still water, we better don't step in there. I also didn't plan on doing any urbexing today, so I don't have any flashlight. My phone has to be enough. Let's see. It's a bit creepy. It's a bit creepy, I have to say. Now you can see me. The escalators are not working, but maybe we can go up there. I get the feeling I'm not supposed to be here. Oh. Okay. This is not an official entrance. Oh.
At this moment, I suddenly stood face to face with a Chinese family who looked at me if I was trying to illegally break into the hotel, which I was probably technically doing.
It's not the right way. It's not the right way. No. Okay, there are more people a bit confused. But that is definitely not the right way. I had to climb over the couches here. There's some sort of payment terminals here. I'm not sure you can buy tickets here. I don't know what for. I think I made it over to the Castle Hotel though. Yeah, that's a conference center. And now we're here at the Castle Hotel. It's huge, so 5,000 rooms. Wow, the garden here is beautiful. And I see some more tourists over there. So this might be where tourists stay. Though I can't imagine that all of the 5,000 rooms are occupied right now. Look at this, it's beautiful. It does remind me somewhat of like Disney, of a theme park. It definitely is really, really beautiful. Look at all the decorations over here. Let's see if we can have a look outside. So there's some pools for kids with some slides and some playgrounds. I think if you have a family, if you have children, this is a really nice place to go. I don't think we can go any further down here though. I think this is all blocked off. I just left the Castle Hotel, and over here, these are all the structures, all the buildings that we saw from the other paddle before. I wish we could have a closer look, but the only road leading in there seems to be blocked off down here. You can rent these electric tricycles. Let's see if I can get a electric tricycle, because that would make my life much easier. So let's see if we can scan the code in Alipay. It seems to work. So it's 16 yuan for 10 minutes. That's not too bad. Confirm unlocking. I got the car. So let's see. Okay. So we have gas, brake. It says reach 69 kilometers. I don't think we can even ride that far on this island. Woo. Let's go. Wow. Guys, this is full speed. I'm going full speed. Oh, wait, I think I'm driving in an area where I'm not supposed to drive. It just stopped over here. Now. Wow, the speed is incredible. Better than walking though. By the way, if you're curious how fast that thing is going, 13 kilometers an hour. What is this here? No one here. The gates are open. See how? Up the mountain, up the hill, it's even. Oh, now it starts talking. So over here we have all these big villas. Oh, okay, it's stopping now. It just stopped. What am I gonna do now? I don't think it's working anymore. Oh fuck, I just stranded in the middle of the road. Let's try to get it back out of the middle of the road. Let's try scanning it. Maybe I have to give it back. I'm actually not sure what's happening. What does it say? Translate. Over here you can see all these unfinished, abandoned places, and there are so many of these. They're everywhere here. Though I have this bike now and I can't give it back here, so let's try to walk it back to the service area. Yeah, it starts driving again. There's all the buildings. That's where I want to have a look. So now this is the station over there. That's where I picked up the bike. I'm gonna give it back there because that thing sucks. That sucks so hard. I'd rather walk. Back exactly where I started on the bike. Now let's go, let's walk and have a closer look to the construction site up here. Here we can see the villas. They even have a lift. So they seem like halfway finished. There's no handrails, for example, at the stairs. So it seems to be like halfway finished. The inside is probably completely empty still. I imagine once these are finished, they'll be really beautiful. I don't know if they will ever be finished since the company Evergrande is bankrupt now. There are so many of these houses though. So this was probably a duplex. There's 2 elevators and 2 homes. Oh, I think there's a road leading down here. There's still a booth that was probably in use back then when there was active construction going on. Now everything is left. So over here we have a much better view of all these abandoned buildings over here. Over here on this side we have a observation tower. That is supposed to be a observation tower, though I don't know if we can go up there. Let's have a look. Uh-oh, it looks as if it's locked up with the bike locks. It's completely empty in there from what I see. Yeah, Also over here on the wall, that is what it was supposed to be like.
Ocean Flower Island was designed to become China's largest entertainment, shopping, and conference destination. Built entirely from scratch, the archipelago consists of 3 main islands. The islands on the left and right were primarily designed as residential areas, while the flower-shaped island in the center serves as the project's main entertainment district, home to water parks, hotels, shopping areas, and many other attractions. Originally, the fifth paddle was supposed to feature additional luxury hotels and high-end residential developments. However, those plans were never realized. Today, the fifth paddle is largely empty, consisting mostly of open grassland and a single viewpoint. Since the weather was extremely hot and humid during my visit, exploring the huge island turned out to be more difficult than expected. After failing to locate the tourist train station and repeatedly losing service on the rented e-bikes, I decided to skip the fifth paddle altogether and focus on exploring the rest of the island instead.
And this one is where the water park is located. This water park is open, this water park is in use. You can buy tickets for it. I don't see the water running, but also the park is only opening at 2 p.m. Right now it's 2:07 p.m. Oh, what's happened to these letters? Are they supposed to be laying on the ground like this? I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. I'm actually so confused what's happening with this place. But let's have a look down here now. It says here on the map, it says it's an adventure area. Well, I don't think there's any adventure happening here anymore. It's all barricaded off. I think this sign probably says do not enter, do not climb the fence. That's the adventure area. There's a lot of activities for children going on here on the island for sure. Or there used to be a lot of activities going on, if they ever opened their doors, which I also don't know, because there's actually a whole abandoned theme park on this island that never opened its doors. Down here we have another huge building, but as you can see, the doors look locked off down here. By the way, this down here, that's back there, that's the abandoned theme park. That's a huge theme park with multiple roller coasters, free fall towers, and beautiful theming. I mean, you can see the entrance gates over there. It looks absolutely beautiful, though they never finished the construction and therefore it never opened its gates. You can see this here, this is all barricaded off. Oh, the roof, oh look at the shape of it in there. So the roof here is all broken, look at this in there. It's a huge building, huge. I think these buildings down here were like for concerts. It doesn't look in very good shape. This building here behind me is not in use for sure. And now I think we've arrived at the unfinished theme park. That's it. And here we have beautiful abandoned park. I find these places just so fascinating. Look around, the construction is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The lady in my hotel told me upon check-in that the park is under maintenance. From what I know, it never opened its gates. And they do have some roller coasters and stuff in there. I wish I could have a look inside. Here you see under construction, please keep away. I mean, I don't do a very good job keeping people out. Urbexes can get in there so easily. With all the amounts of cameras they have around here, I don't think it's the best idea, though it's not really like an abandoned place. because it's like in the middle of a touristy island, though there are not many people around. There's this car is like going quite slow over there. He's probably watching me. Not exactly sure. I mean, it's China, there are cameras everywhere. They have every single one of my movements on camera. But yeah, beautiful. Over here, I think this is the sports and activity center. Let's see if that is opened. According to Apple Maps, it is supposed to open at 2:30 in the day. So maybe we can, maybe it's open, maybe it's still in use. It's a swimming pool area in here. There's no water in the swimming pool, so I don't think it is in use anymore. It's getting kind of windy here. I'm at the backside of the sports center. I want to see if I can get a better look. Yeah, all these doors are like locked off from inside. So it's a huge swimming pool. Is it an Olympic-sized swimming pool? Maybe. But yeah, like so many other things, it's not in use anymore. I'm only feeling slightly watched. Look at all the cameras up there. The thing is, China usually doesn't really like people, especially foreigners, sneak around at places they don't really want people to see. And I think this place here is probably one of those places that China doesn't really want the West to see, because as of now it is not a successful project, I don't think. Most of the stuff is empty. They spent billions of dollars on it and there's no tourists coming. This was planned as a huge international tourist destination to develop the island of Hainan for international tourists, to attract people from all over the world. And this clearly hasn't really worked out as they wanted it to work out. Over here there's like all these bikes. They're all retired. Here's the security booth. Left open. The door's not even locked. We actually have a very nice playground here. I don't think you can use it anymore though. Again here, no entry. It's all locked off here. And you can see up there it's pretty rusty. The slides up here, everything's like rusty. The paint is coming off. I do understand why they shut down the sports center with a huge swimming pool, or why they never opened the amusement park. That stuff takes money. It takes a lot of labor to maintain places like this. I'm not sure though why they locked off this whole playground here, because I feel like this is a place that doesn't need as much maintenance. Running a playground doesn't cost nearly as much money as an amusement park with multiple roller coasters or an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So the fact that they don't even maintain this playground here, that they leave it abandoned, makes me think this whole island is just not profitable at all whatsoever. There's another big building right over here, though as you can see all the flags have been taken down. This makes me think whatever used to be in this building over here, or whatever they plan to put in there, did not succeed. So let's see if we can get a little bit closer and get an idea of what this building is supposed to be. So it says it's an international exhibition center. I'm not sure which international companies want to have their exhibition right here, but in case anyone wants to come, they're prepared. Or maybe they're not prepared. I'm not sure if it's finished from the inside. That's what we're gonna find out now. And I see the curtains are closed, but one of the curtains in there is actually open, so let's have a look if we can peek inside. That is dark. That is really dark in there. Can you see something? Well, it's huge. It's a huge place. But yeah, it's empty.
While researching Ocean Flower Island, I came across an article describing one of the project's biggest controversies. On one of the residential islands, 39 high-rise buildings had been constructed without the required permits. Once local authorities discovered the violation, all 39 towers were ordered to be demolished within just 10 days. The timing could hardly have been worse. By then, Evergrande Group was already facing a severe liquidity crisis and struggling under a mountain of debt. I knew these failed developments were located somewhere on the island, but I had no idea where. So I decided to head over to one of the neighboring artificial islands and see if I could find them for myself. So I took a taxi and headed over to the left island, which is mainly used as a residential area.
There's a whole family in the car driving by. Literally everyone's watching me right over there. It's just so weird. I'm just having such a strange feeling with the amount of people watching me in this super strange place with all of the restaurants and shops down here just closed, just shut. This is just such a strange place. So this place gets weirder and weirder. Like here, literally everything's abandoned. Some of the buildings over there are finished. Some of them are, like this one here, not finished. Wow, look at this. It's like a whole abandoned street. That is literally so spooky. This one here isn't even blocked off. Look at this. Never finished. Just a construction site. Of course there's camera here behind me. Up here, this is all construction site. They did put the foundation here for buildings to be built in the future. This is all like abandoned. And then we have these huge towers. Over here we have also a huge empty area ready for development. So in a couple of years, once all these apartments are sold out, once all of these towers are occupied, maybe they're gonna continue building. But I think for now, as we can see here, construction is on hold. I guess also somewhere here behind all these fenced off areas, there's probably the ruins, the remains from 39 demolished towers. 39 demolished towers. That's insane. Just think about how many apartments that is. Over there you can see like these huge boulders and mountains of rubble in front of this big empty area. All the rubble in this empty area. This might be where these towers used to be, the towers that didn't have a permit and that got demolished. So I'm not sure about this. This is just my guess.
Illegally constructed high-rises were not the only controversy surrounding Ocean Flower Island. It later emerged that the project arguably should have never been approved in the first place. Authorities had granted Evergrande permission to develop the archipelago despite the project allegedly violating environmental protection laws and regulations. The fallout was significant. In 2020, the mayor of Danzhou and several other officials were arrested on corruption charges. Meanwhile, Evergrande founder Su Jiayin, once the richest man in China, was detained by authorities as the company's financial empire began to collapse. By that point, however, the damage had already been done. The islands had been built, large areas of coral reefs had been destroyed, and people across China were openly criticizing the project. Ocean Flower Island was eventually voted one of the 10 ugliest buildings in the whole country.
Over here, I can see some carnival rides. So since the big amusement park has never opened, they've probably put some carnival rides here, so there's at least a little bit of entertainment. Let's have a look. Though I don't think these are running. I think they're just put here until someone needs them. I'm not sure if they're set up. Up here we have also some bumper cars, just that it's horses instead of cars. I don't know if these are still running. I don't think so, actually. There are more bumper cars over there, though I think they're closed. Here we can buy some food. I think scallion pancakes. It is very peaceful because you can hear the birds chirping in the trees. We have some playgrounds down there for children. It is really nice. The air is very good. That's the reason why a lot of people travel here down to Hainan, to southern China, because the air is just so good. You get the sea breeze, and it is much better than in a lot of big cities. Given that there are so many big towers around, it's very quiet, it's very eerie. Really, all you can hear are the birds. But here, I don't see any sign of life in most of these towers. I do think they are planning to occupy all these apartments in the next couple of years, and this is how China works. They think long term. So this place might not be fully occupied right now. Most of these towers are probably still empty, though in a couple of years this might be very, very different. I'm not sure. Over here we can clearly see that no one lives there. The glass door up here is shattered. The doors are open, the windows are open. Up here the same. Down here too, the doors opened. Up here all these doors are opened. Windows. So I think they have to renovate these places again before renting them out. You can see down here the windows are opened. Even the door here is opened. There's not many signs of life in here though. It's beautiful. Do you hear all these birds in the trees? You really feel like you're in the middle of nature. There's no cars, there's no noise, there's just the birds in the trees. And I can feel the sea breeze. The ocean is actually right over there. So let's go and have a look. Over here we can see all the other developments. Lots of high rises. And then I think here it ends. So this area over here isn't developed yet. And there's a car turning right behind me. There's not many people around, and I feel like whenever someone sees me, a foreigner walking through the streets, they stare at me because, like, what am I doing here? I hope I'm not being followed. All along the shore here and also over here, there, they've put these huge boulders, these concrete bricks there, because this whole island is artificial, and I think they have to take a lot of precautions to prevent erosion, to prevent this island from disappearing into the ocean again. I did a little bit more research, and I also read there was a lot of criticism because marine ecosystems and coral reefs did get destroyed by building this island. building an artificial island this size definitely has impacts on the local ecosystem. That's the car here that was turning. I hope it's not following me around. It's just so still, so quiet. The white car from back there passed me again. I don't know, I just have not the best feeling because it's just so empty. Like, there's just no one here. We've reached the end of the development area. The road is ending over there. No cars allowed. And probably no pedestrians allowed either, especially not foreigners walking around with a camera. I don't think they would like that over there, and I already have such a spooky feeling. There are more restaurants down here, though they are all locked off. There are these big bike locks.
After Evergrande's collapse, much of Ocean Flower Island effectively fell under government control. Today, local authorities in Danzhou are still trying to figure out what to do with a massive unfinished project.
I do hear some thunder now, and I think it's time to head back. We've explored the artificial island, the artificial Ocean Flower Island and its developments. The apartment buildings are not completely abandoned. There are some signs of life, yet it is very eerie because it is very severely underoccupied. And I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.